I looked in the mirror and just didn't really feel attractive. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Janae and this is Naturally Janae. So this is episode 1 of my natural hair care journey. If you've found yourself here, welcome, welcome, welcome. So on this channel, I plan to share the highs and lows of my natural hair care journey, products that I'm using, and simple styles. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing. The verse of the day comes from Philippians 4:11. Not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. Today I plan to style my hair. It's gonna be something very, very simple. But before I get started, I wanted to share just a little bit of information about myself. Okay, so I've been natural now for probably about 12 years. Prior to being loose natural, I had locks. So I had locks for about 5.5 to 6 years. I cut them in 2020. And then in 2021, I got a relaxer. So I'll insert some photos. This is me with locks. And then this is me with a relaxer. Shortly after relaxing my hair, I immediately started to see that my hair was thinning. And then when I would wash my hair, it was literally falling out in clumps. And so I started to grow it back out and I wore crochet for a while. After a few months, I ended up getting a keratin treatment. The hairstylist that I went to said that it was a smoothing treatment and that it was healthier or a safer option than a relaxer. So I got the smoothing treatment. This is me with the smoothing treatment. And then the same thing happened again. And so I haven't had chemicals in my hair now for about 3 years. And so instead of big chopping, I wore braids. I quickly learned over time that the braids were actually damaging my hair. The last set of braids I had were about a year ago, and I'll insert a picture of that too. They were knotless braids. I had gone to the Africans and gotten some knotless braids done, wore them for about maybe 2 months or so, and I ended up losing my edges. So I will zoom in. They're trying to grow back slowly. But yeah, so about a year ago, it was pretty much a bald spot right here. Same here. And so I'll insert that clip. So that was about a year ago. And so for the last year, I've made a decision to just wear my natural hair. But for me, that's come with its share of emotions, I'll say. Some days I am all the way team natural and I feel just beautiful and I'm just like, I'm the girl that's encouraging everybody to just wear your natural hair, whether it's in mini twist or mini braids or a puff or, a good twist out. But if I'm honest, there are days, and today was one of those days, which is what prompted me to say, you know what, start the channel. I've been kind of hesitating on whether or not I wanted to start a natural hair care channel. I looked in the mirror and just didn't really feel attractive. And I've dealt with that for the last year. So needless to say, I have had some difficult days. Thankfully, I have a husband who encourages me. I just wanted to say that if you too are in this season, or if you just simply have run out of style ideas, I'm hoping that I can share some simple styles with you. They'll be very simple, low manipulation hairstyles, low tension hairstyles. And most importantly, I pray and I hope that I can be a source of encouragement for you. Okay, so let's get into today's style. All right, guys, I am back. So, I have the back combed out, and what I'm gonna do is make a part from ear to ear. Okay, so that's straight enough. I'm gonna pull the back down into a low puff. So I would say that this is a very quick style. Like if you woke up in the morning and you had maybe 20 minutes to try to get yourself together. And that's if your hair needs to be detangled. If you don't need to detangle your hair, you could probably do this in like, 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so I got my hair in a low puff. okay? And I'm only gonna put it around once because I want, again, I don't have very thick hair and I'm going for a, you know, I don't want the puff to look too little. So I'm only wrapping the holder around once, okay? So that's the back, simple. Okay, now for the front, I'm gonna pull out my 2 pieces on the side. So I'll pull out some hair on the side here and hair on the side here. Okay, let me tuck that away for now. All right. I'm gonna do flat twist. Kind of like a zigzag part. So I'll start here. I don't care for a middle part on me. My hair is thin here as well, and I just don't like how it looks. So I'm gonna do a bit of a zigzag part. Here is where I'll care a little bit more about the parting. All right. So for me, for 2-strand twist, I like to work with gel. Or for flat twist, not 2-strand twist. I like to work with gel. I just think it provides the slip that I need. Foam doesn't necessarily work for me. So I'm gonna use, again, this is another Aunt Jackie's product. This is the Don't Shrink Flaxseed Gel. So I'm using this. I will list all the products that I use if you guys are interested. I'll pull this down so it doesn't get caught in it. Okay. And I'm just gonna do a flat twist in the front. I always wanna call them 2-strand twists, but I'm gonna do a flat twist. And I think why on this side I prefer it to come forward is because, as I mentioned before, I have that, that thinning in the front, and I just don't like the way it looks on this side if I bring the flat twist back. So I try to bring it forward. And then sometimes I have to take it out and do it again. Just depends. Or sometimes I get it right on the first try. Okay. So there's that. So not perfect, but it's okay, so I'm gonna start here. Try not to grab too much hair because then it's gonna make it kind of bumpy and you won't actually see the twist. So I'm just grabbing pieces of hair with each of my fingers and twisting it back. I don't really know how else to explain how to do the flat twist. Okay. All right, so see, it's done. That's that side and that side. All right. And then, as I said before, I'm just gonna take my bobby pin and secure it into the puff here. All right, so now Okay, so for here, I'm just gonna use a little bit of gel. Then I just split them in two. And then over time, it will curl up. So I just use a little bit of the Aunt Jackie's elongating flaxseed gel on each side. Now I'm in Florida, it is hot, so no matter what I do to my edges, they're just gonna curl up anyway. But I just also use the gel for my edges as well. It's what works for me. Okay. And then for my edges, I use a toothbrush. And I'm just gonna swoop that. Once I put the scarf on, everything will set and mold. For my last and final step, I'm going to add some foam or mousse and then tie my hair down. This is one of my go-to styles. It's low tension and it didn't require much effort. Okay. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the final look. It's been about an hour. I put on a little bit of makeup just to do some thumbnail photos, but I wanted to show you guys the final look. So I applied some of that setting lotion on there. Very simple, low maintenance hairstyle. 2 flat twists going into a puff. This is going to look different depending on the length of your hair. So if your hair is longer, obviously this style is going to come out a little bit different, but this is something nice and simple, allows your hair to be pulled back without too much tension on the front. I try to avoid any hairstyles that will put tension on my hairline. So this is one of my go-to styles. Well, all right, you guys, that concludes episode 1. If all goes well, I'll post this video on June 1st. I'm challenging myself to style my hair at least once a week for the next 6 months. So if you're interested, I'd love for you to join me on this challenge. We can track our progress and see how our hair thrives in the next 6 months. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, or you can simply share it with someone that you think it may benefit. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I am learning to love my natural hair at every stage of the journey. How's your natural hair journey going?